I am Trat, I'm here with Lahi. We're here for the Martian Enterprise Tournament workshop sessions. Wow! So that's, we're trying to give some useful feedback on how to improve your Offworld game here. And
Of
in this
course.
game we have Lit Shadow, DT, Marlantel, and Tudeback, and we're on IO. Wow, look at this. Yeah, what do you think about this map?
This map is very colorful. We have a lot of aluminum fields and a lot of options for scientific and I guess scientific and expensive is going to be a good option because
What do you think about glass versus electronics?
Oh, glass versus electronics. I like that. I missed that.
A nomadic HQ has been founded.
So yeah, normally I would like, in general, expansives over robots, but in this current setup, and it's also, by the way, a glass colony,
yeah,
I would like to see a robot, I think.
Robot?
Oh, or a nomad, which Tudeback went with. Alright, let's check the founds.
Yeah, I really like Tudeback's found. Although silicon is going to be diminished in the long term. Tudeback has very strong production in silicon, and that will enable him to make this glass kiln.
Yeah, and he already had enough money for 60 electronics, although did sell some down now.
That being said,
alright, let's look at the others.
Yeah. DT and Lit Shadow founds is going to be very stable. They are not that fast in terms of upgrading, producing, but it's going to be reliable. They are not going to diminish. They have very easy access to silicon and oxygen and steel.
Yeah.
So they have no problem into getting into those markets, just not as fast as Nomadic does. What do you think about Marlantel's
I would like to comment a bit on Lit Shadow though, because he went triple steel mail when steel started $30.
Oh.
So usually when something starts at half, you don't want to commit too heavily into it.
Yeah.
Like starting with glass kilns, I think would have been a better HQ1 play, or...
That could have worked.
I don't know. At least not 3 steel mills.
Yeah.
Basically, because if you just make a little bit of money, you can buy a lot of steel when it's $30.
The problem,
later, though.
The problem of steel mill is that they consume 0.3 power per second. It might not seem like a big amount, but this is the reason why we have this sharp increase in power price. The steel mill, so many steel mills. So you have to be careful.
Well, it's one of the reasons. This usually happens on Io because the colony consumes more power than on Mars. But yeah, steel is definitely a contributing reason, and it does barely get you any money.
Yeah. What do you think about Marlantel's fund?
Yeah, so he went robot, which is what I liked. I mean, as a faction, I don't love his found. I would have founded on the 10 tiles to the west above the basalt over this.
Yeah.
Because basalt is better than iron in every single way. You have more aluminum over there, which makes for a really easy space elevator when that time comes, and you will have closer to the oxygen. And there's some extra value with a robot and basalt platforms, because it gives you uranium, silicon, and iron, which gives you adjacency bonus to things like nuclear plants, glass kilns,
electronics,
yeah,
steel mill.
Yeah, exactly. So you get a lot more benefit out of that robotic adjacency when you found on basalt instead of iron. So I would call that a bit of a misfound. There's also a geothermal plant there, which is always nice for robots, but it's taken out by DT. Also, he claims a medium silicon from Tudeback. You wouldn't have to do that if you were on basalt. So I think in every single way... Oh wait, I missed almost the most important way, although it's the least obvious one. There are events on IO. Some of them are really bad. One of the bad ones is one that halves the output of your mines and quarries.
Oh, that's
like
nasty.
a minute and a half or something. But there are no events that lower the output of the basalt platform. So every single thing in this game points to basalt platforms being better than mines. Except like building time.
And that
Oh, here it is!
event
Here it is!
happens.
15 seconds.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Optimization center is ready.
that's what I think of it.
Time to start improving everything.
So that could have been improved. And I would like to point out that while I like the start of Toothbags Found, Toothbag seems to be being slowed down as the glass market is crashing. And Toothbag is not in other big markets. It's making fuel, oxygen, and glass, but that's about it. And they're not making much money.
I don't mind it. He does have the pleasure dome, he does have an optimization center already, and he's
Yeah.
HQ5 now. But, and, yeah, you criticized
Black market is online.
his markets a bit, but I'm sure there were better options.
Chemical could be a nice thing to
Yeah,
prepare.
chemical is a decent one. Yeah, that's true. Although he doesn't have the best carbon situation. So, the most accessible carbon was in this crater, and DT claimed two of them really, really quickly.
Mhm.
I guess there are two more to the back to take.
Yeah.
So, yeah, can I talk about carbon on IO?
I'm not sure
Carbon
how
and
the
IO.
magnetic storm
So IO is a bit
up to
different.
function
That there's more importance more weight put on carbon, because in IO, fuel is like a second power. It fluctuates really heavily, and
Sold.
more importantly, you can stockpile fuel. So while
So, what's the relationship between carbon and fuel, though?
Ion collector, to build an ion collector, you have to pay 80 carbon as a non-scavenger user, and that is quite a lot of carbon.
The pattern
So
plan
you
is
want to
constructed. Let's get our science
secure carbon earlier than usual, and also being chemical is one of the most important resources in the mid game, and that also requires carbon. You need to pay 20 to build, and you need to pay 0.5 per second to produce a chemical.
HQ has been upgraded.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
optimization
So,
is successful.
carbon is definitely
The
something to
black
look out for
market
when
is
you're
open for
founding.
business.
Yeah.
And DT, I seems to really have a game plan centered around this carbon. He took it early, but he did also go heavily into ion collectors and into chems.
Yeah.
And it seems to be paying off decently. He has a fair amount of money here.
Yeah, this aggressive entry into carbon enabled him to push these multiple ion collectors and refineries.
Alright, so one other different thing about IO is we don't have Offworld, what are they called? Offworld markets on this location. We have space elevators.
Mhm.
They're actually quite different from Offworld markets.
Oh yeah. So unlike Offworld market, you don't use normal building resource to build it. You need a lot of aluminum to build it, and because of that,
Black market is online.
aluminum does not. The importance of aluminum does not go down in the later stage of the game, unlike on Mars or Ceres, because there's
Yeah.
so much aluminum
It goes
you need
up even.
to build it.
Yeah.
Our methods
And there's also this pattern called transparent aluminum, which Studeback gets now. Let's see how long it takes from getting it to building a space elevator.
Yeah.
So now we only need 700 aluminum and 100 electronics. It costs him 40k. That's very, very cheap. Although the prices to launch aren't great, which is kind of typical for IO.
Mhm.
So there's no argument against it. But yeah, considering he did get transparent aluminum, I expect to see one or two back any second now. He seems hesitant to sell down his 1,000 aluminum.
Yeah.
You could sell like 200-300 to afford it right now.
market is open for business.
So
Optimization routine
we did wanted to
successful.
cover black market usages in this game, but because
Oh,
there's
right.
flame on the market, it
Yeah.
has been very quiet. There has been one EMP used, one EMP in stock, and just a adrenaline boost, goon squad,
Yeah,
and that was it.
Blitz Shadow actually did a pretty good one. So his basalt is shaped like a scientist HQ. So there's only one tile in the middle. So if you place a gun there and adrenaline boost it, you get a lot of value out of that, which is really hard to stop. And he did exactly that, and I like that plan. And for some reason, water is silly cheap. It was $30 a second ago. And yeah, this is like water. You should expect this is a low price for water. On Mars, this would be a medium to high price for water, but on Io, it's a low price. So I would stock up on a bit. Although, wow, look at food price dropping.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of adrenaline boosted food going on now.
One is
Although
synthetic meat. So we have seen multiple boosts going over across the map, and I would like to point out that this is a reaction you can think of when you're playing Offworld. When people are boosting their own market, it means they are on cooldown. So you can either try to shut it down by using a black market item, or boost your own tile, hoping that people are all on cooldown and don't want to stop you. So that's two reactions you can think of, and I think people chose to do boost on their own tiles.
Oh, and so on Mars, there's Mars Quakes that increases all the prices. But here's the Io Quakes, which increases all the prices. And destroys 5 random buildings. So whenever you see that, you have to quickly realize it and start repairing them. I suggest using the hotkey V, so you can just click V, click V, click V, click V, click V. It's faster to do than to say. And yeah, those precious seconds can definitely mean a lot. I'm talking about the thing at the top that says you have a broken building, by the way.
What do you think about people's market choices at this point of the game?
I feel, yeah, people should be making more aluminum. I'm not sure why Tudeback removed his triple aluminum into triple farm, but triple aluminum would make a lot more money than triple farm. I would like to see him go back into that. And he did only make one elevator. If you're gonna make them, I think I'd rather say 2. And he did get thinking machines, right? Oh, DT stole thinking machines. Oh, maybe that's... So yeah, so he switched from not for the market focus strategy into buying into DT. It might be because he lost thinking machines. I'm not sure about the timeline there.
Yeah. So right now, DT's production is not that great. Toothbags is producing good, is in good market, except the Toothbag will have to rotate out of these electronic factories to get into silicon because his stockpile is running out and is consuming a lot of silicon. They should not forget about this. It is a vulnerability. If I were DT, or if I were other players, I would like to network virus this electronics factory, foreseeing that as soon as these prices starts rising.
Oh, that's, well, yeah.
It's going to stop.
I would never do that, but it does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
He also never took the second carbon quarry. And carbon is quite high now. Like, yeah, the best buildings on the map right now are like quarries and mines.
Our methods continue to improve. Optimization routine.
And let's see, what other entertainment? Yeah, entertainment's pretty good.
Entertainment, DT.
Oh, Lit Shadow got virtual reality, but he doesn't actually have one.
DT. Okay. So it looks like this is going to be an elevator game.
Yeah.
The black market is online.
Right now the only buildings I see that I like are the water processors.
Oh.
Nothing else makes money really.
It's great now. But water being water, it's going to crash soon.
Yeah, it is. And DT did have a ton of aluminum stockpile he uses now to make his first best elevator. And remember, he was the one who did get thinking machines.
What thinking machine does is any black market that hits tiles directly adjacent to your base is going to be halved in its effect. So Mutiny will last half as long. Dynamite, your repair cost is halved once more, and you rebuild faster.
Yeah. So repair cost is half by default, so with finger machines it's a quarter, to be clear. And to the back sees this space elevator going down, and he... Oh no. Yeah, I was about to give him props for spying the goon on this elevator, but still spends a dynamite on it.
Yeah, I don't like that play because of thinking machines. By handing over that goon to DT, his elevator
dynamite,
is
yeah.
also once more vulnerable to the dynamite. And you know the spice is there, you could have used network virus instead.
Yeah. So this could have been a UI thing. Gun squads are placed a little bit awkwardly on space elevators. Maybe
Yeah.
thought it was the glass skin that was good.
That is possible.
Yeah, that's happened to me. Oh, you should buy water when it's easy. Buy some fuel. Mine more. Yeah, Tudibag really should be mining more. What's it called? Carbon, because he has free return claims that nobody else has. He can respond to this carbon situation in a way that nobody else can. I mean, so I guess someone can buy bribe claim, but yeah, carbon is expensive, and you should sell it.
Oh, I don't like it. Getting back into these glass kilns. It should have been on a. It should have stayed as aluminum mines because this price is rising and rising.
Yeah.
People are repairing, destroying,
aluminum.
building elevators.
Yeah, I think Malontel built 2 of them without having a stockpile, which is what it's currently worth 200.
Yeah.
And nobody has a stockpile. DT is bringing in the most aluminum with 3 per second.
So much money.
And I must say, I quite like DT's position here.
Gets back into aluminum mines.
Like if... I don't know. Wait, where is DT? What is DT doing with his... black market? Oh, hit Lit Shadow.
Lit Shadow.
Alright, so if I was DT, I would be afraid of to the back. Because he's the one who owns my stock.
Yeah.
But maybe DT knows something I don't, just doesn't seem very afraid.
Well, if you know you're going to win, it might be worthwhile to use that black market to other players, but I would not be sure about that yet. And Tudback does seem to be in a good lead.
Yeah, Tudback did go into triple mines here, and he has double optimization, so these 3 aluminum mines making 1500 a second. That's really good money. That's enough money to maybe buy DT.
Actually, Toothback's optimizations he has been optimizing every market aggressively, while other players have not been doing it. Lit Shadow has none, DT has some, but it's not on the markets you want to be producing right now. And Marlonte also has some.
Yeah. And okay, I'm about to do. So we've done beginner to intermediate advice. I want to make like a super expert master player advice. On IO, when you have nanotechnology and you're next to your solar condensers, like Tudibak is, as soon as it turns to night, scrap them and build something else, because they won't do anything for this pretty long night. Especially free real estate.
Yeah.
And when day starts approaching and you need it again, you can transition back, because you have nanotech, it didn't cost you anything, except you have to pay attention to it. It's free money. And for example, glass skins would have made him a fair amount, I think. Although silicon is expensive, I don't know. I'm sure you can find something better that's better than nothing at all.
I like that DT is using network viruses to check out the status of the space elevator and dynamite blow it up. But as we have covered before, you can just buy a spy and check it, and it's going to stick there forever. So that's one thing to point out. Although DT might have gotten the network virus for free.
I think he bought it. He might have got free, but he also didn't have 30 seconds to live. He knew he was about to get bought out there. And Tudibak bought Behemoth. So let's see, what chances do we give to Lit Shadow and Marlon's out here? They both have winning chances, I think. What do you think?
Yeah, Malontel has a lot of money. Lich Shadow also has some money, but what I'm afraid is that they're fighting against each other. If they finish the buy soon, it might pay off. If Lich Shadow finishes Malontel soon, it might pay off. But if not, if they delay the game, Tutbek is going to get massive advantage from having this DT sub sitting, giving it money. 1k per second right now.
Oh, Turtleback left the aluminum market again. Why does he do this to me? Whenever he leaves it, aluminum suddenly becomes $250.
Yeah.
I'm not sure
Yeah.
what's up with that.
Those water is not going to last long. The only reason why this water is making good money is because power, and it's in that case it's usually better to build power.
Yeah. Oh, this is interesting. Lucio should buy Marlontel now, because
yeah.
Marlontel bought into Turtleback.
Yeah.
So you'll get the free stock into Turtleback and increase your own profits and increase your own price. And what you need to do is realize that you can afford it right now.
Yeah.
Wait, can he? Where's his money? Oh no, he's building a space elevator! Oh, he finished building.
Oh.
What do you think about this?
Yeah, that's a missed opportunity. You should be hovering over your own HQ. So the HQ icon on the top right menu, so you can see how much money you have. It's the easiest way to identify the amount of money you have. And then, so another thing I want to cover is that Toothpick said, "But why?" on chat. I think that is because Malontel started buying into Toothpick, and Toothpick knows that if the Shadows finishes buy on Malontel, they are going to have massive stock advantage over Toothpick, and Toothpick might lose if that happens. So Toothpick is kind of complaining that Malontel is not trying to win themselves, but giving the win to Lich Shadow.
Yeah. And I kind of agree with that. It's like Malontel is basically only deciding who gets ahead in the duel between Turtleback and Lich Shadow, and he chose to give Lich Shadow an advantage.
Ends up giving.
But I think anyone can still win.
Yeah, Toothpick still have a money advantage. The advantage in the money they're getting from the sub, and Malonto will be a good sub. It's some optimization and double space elevator, but that DT is set up already, making 2k per second, and this Shadow does not have the 2k per second. So I think Toothpick will be able to catch up with the money.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, so now he's super selling aluminum. Okay, yeah, I was wondering, do you think you should make a space elevator here, or is it too late?
Space elevator is not bad. Offworld is kind of dying.
Yeah.
So
he did an interesting adrenaline boost here on unprotected. What do you call it again? Solar condensers. And Lich Shadow Black Mark cooldown just came up. How should we respond to this?
50k is a bit expensive. I think I would keep buying dynamite and blowing up elevators.
Alright, that's fine. But at least you have a spider. Wait, he does, right?
Or you can do counter boost, but there's nothing to boost.
Somebody else has a spider.
Yeah, oxygen died now very soon. You didn't have to freeze it.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Successful elevator shipment.
Yeah, I would have probably frozen it, I think. So, but I would have been wrong. Yeah, these prices move really quickly.
Yeah, with onward market dying like this, it might be a good idea to build. Look at Pleasure Domes.
Yeah. Oh, tell me about this. What do you think about Turtleback's power surge?
Oh, let's see.
Space elevator delivery.
I really like the power surge.
Yeah, me too.
pie of the black market.
So it's a 50. It was a 30k power surge, and what it did was it froze both off-roads of Marlontel, and it's a placement issue. It makes your off-road very vulnerable. It makes it strong again on boost, but also makes it vulnerable on this power surge and EMPs.
Yeah.
So it stops
And
the subs.
there's so noted it wasn't on Lich Shadow, it was on Marlontal, which is his sub. And the benefit of that is a sub does not have goon squads.
Yeah.
So you don't even need to spy this, you can just drop it. Oh, it's really close. Should we cast the end of this game? Alright, we have to the back 98% on Lich Shadow. He's finishing a launch in 7 seconds.
Yeah. Lich Shadow has the
Shadow's
money.
not gonna finish a launch. To the back has. Alright. I couldn't even cast it.
Yeah.
Alright, very, very close end. Good game, I wanna say.
So we also see an advanced play out of Toothpick. Lich Shadow did have money first, but Toothpick realizing that I'm late, I have to push this. Toothpick scrapped the buildings he had and sold the resources used in the buildings because Toothpick had nanotechnology. Scrap buildings, get money out of that, and finish the buy faster than Lich Shadow could.
Oh, I didn't realize it's 100%, but yeah, that's a very good advanced play too.
Oh.
Nanotechnology can be used very creatively.
Or maybe I've seen it wrong. Maybe Lich Shadow, yeah, it was 100 on top, 90 something on bottom, which means
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I think. So
yeah, that's right. That's
Toothpick,
right. So Toothpick had to buy first and used nanotech as well to push it to secure it.
yeah. Just make sure don't premature nanotechnology. Have a rough idea of how much you need, how far away your launch is. Like, is this my last hope? When do I do it? Like, there's some calculations into that timing to perfect it, but when used correctly, it's really, really, really strong.
Yeah.
And I want to say kind of especially on IO, because these ion collectors are 80 carbon each, and a carbon can completely explode in late game IO. You can have a lot of hidden money on ion collectors with nanotech.
Yeah.
Not in this situation, but often.
It can happen.
Yeah. So, congratulations to the back. And I want to say that we wanted to focus this game a bit on the black market, and I was pretty impressed with his black market usage, actually.
Yeah.
Can
We have seen more active black market uses across all the players, and we have seen nice target choices, I would say.
Yeah. Well, there was not a lot in the beginning, and that's pretty typical for bribe acclaim
Yeah.
games. Which also makes an extra interesting situation when there are bribe acclaims and adrenaline boosts. Because you kind of know that your opponents would probably rather be buying claims. Can you get away with an ungooned adrenaline boost? And it does
Well,
work sometimes. It's very, very risky play though.
it's risky, and I mean, if all other players are buying bribe claims, it's 30 seconds in average. I don't know. It's you don't know
Well,
what's
would you
when
rather-
they bought their
Okay.
claim.
Let me draw you a painting. Claims are 6k. When your opponent has adrenaline boosted, like their iron mines and steel mills, your black market cooldown is ready. Do you spend 2k to power surge them, or do you spend 6k to grab the claim?
Well, my instinctive reaction will be power surging them because I want to surge the boost.
Yeah, I guess.
This gut reaction.
Okay, that's fair enough, I guess. So I would probably lean towards the claim in that situation. But yeah, I'm not saying it's a safe play. Don't do it. I didn't encourage it at all. Forget what I said.
It can be okay, but if you cannot afford getting hit there, it's probably not a good idea to bring attention to yourself.
Yeah. And yeah, one of the big things with black market usage is the goon placement, which one of our entire tournament days is focused on. So there are lots of clever SimCity or choices for building placement you can do to lessen the impact of black market, and if you combine that with clever usage of goon squads, you can actually make a really robust base in this game.
Let's review bases to see if they are eligible for the prizes. So Tootbag is almost eligible, but did not go on the protect these iron collectors, which is fair because Tootbag is the winner, and winner tends to get a lot of claims, so they end up having this bunch of buildings, and they can afford to get it. But
yeah, but he won't get the award.
yeah, but he won't get the award. DT would have gotten the award if DT had a goon in one of those iron collectors or chem refinery. But we don't know that because DT is a sub now and sub's goon is gone.
I think he did.
So we will have to check replay if you want to check the award.
I'm pretty sure he did, but yeah.
This shadow did not have goon on this 5 tiles, basalt tile. So this shadow is not eligible. And my lone tail...
no, he did. He did, remember? That was his like HQ2 play. He gooned that and...
oh, it was popped at some point. Okay.
Well, he's a sub now, so we won't see his goons.
And there are other tiles that is clumped.
Yeah, the northeast part is more worrisome though. That's very clumped.
Which is inevitable when they found in a semi-clumped area and with briber claim on the market. Yeah, Lich Shadow did just told me that they did have a goon there.
Yeah.
My mistake. And my lone tail, as a robot, it's difficult to have on disconnected tiles because they kind of want to get the low robotic adjacency bonuses.
Yeah, that's true. I usually end up with very EMP-able bases when I play robot. It's a big problem actually.
Yeah, they also have small base, so it's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
So nobody gets the prize.
Nobody gets the prize. Although they weren't told that there would be an imaginary prize at the end. Yeah. Maybe that changes things. I don't know. I'm very curious to see how that day will go.
Yeah.